Hey guys, Tyler here. Welcome back to my channel. I am in Alabama Hills, which is outside of Lone Pine, California. It is December 6, 2023, and it's starting to get cold here in the Eastern Sierras, so I thought it'd be a good time to talk to you about cold weather camping in both the Rivian as well as just general car camping. I have a few good tips to offer. I hope you enjoy this video. Okay, tip number one, if you have an EV like the Rivian, find a place where you can plug in, whether it be a destination charger, a 30 or a 50 amp. Know that if you're running the heat on this vehicle, you're not going to get much charge out of the 30 amp, and if it's really cold, you may not get much of a charge out of a 50 amp because it's running that heat all night. Now, if you can only find a 110, you're likely going to lose range while you're charging, but if you have a full charge at the start, you shouldn't be too bad. Now, last night I was in Mammoth Lakes and I was doing snowboarding up there. One option is to go to Mammoth RV Park, and currently there's no snow there, but in speaking to the manager, when they fill with snow, they do close off part of that RV park, and you're only able to use a 30 amp outlet. Last night I had a 50 amp outlet. I was able to charge my vehicle and stay warm in the Rivian. Tip number two, if you are going to be off-grid and you aren't going to be plugged in anywhere, try to start with a full charge. Now, there are other ways to stay warm if you don't want to run the heat too much, and one is to use something like the Buddy heater. Now, this is a propane heater. It does have safety devices. Van lifers swear by this device. Let's go through it a little more thorough right now. Before you go out and buy a Buddy heater or similar device, I encourage you to do a bit of your own research. The heater is equipped with an oxygen depletion sensor and an accidental tip-over safety shutoff. Nevertheless, carbon monoxide and fire danger are legitimate concerns with this device. The product is advertised as safe for indoor use, including tents and campers, but you certainly need to use caution. I've heard that some people use an additional carbon monoxide monitor. My personal preference is to crack a window. If you do decide to buy this heater, it retails for $132, but it can often be found for around $75 at both Walmart and Amazon. I'll have an affiliate link to the Amazon listing in the video description below. Now, if you still aren't sure about this device, one option is just to preheat the car and then turn it off before you go to bed. Now, with my bedding, you might want to just add some extra insulation like I've done here with a blanket. If you get a pad, something with a good R value. Now the R value, the higher the R value, the better the insulation, and that makes more of a difference when you're camping on the ground, say in snowy conditions, but any kind of insulation will help keep that underside of you warm. And in this case, a warm sleeping bag is the way to go. This is a 0-degree sleeping bag, and with that, and I can add some blankets, you're really fine unless it gets really, really cold. And okay, tip number three is insulate your windows, and I haven't done this yet, but as you can see, this Rivian has a lot of glass. The glass roof is something that I love, but it's a detriment when it comes to cold weather camping. There are a lot of products to utilize for insulating your windows. A popular one is called Reflectix. If you've done this to your car, let me know. I'm kind of looking for a product that's already pre-cut, maybe something that just sticks to the windows without me having to really cut the Reflectix out and kind of sandwich them in those windows. So if you know of one, leave a recommendation in the comments below. Okay, tip number four, before you go to bed, boil some water, put it in an Nalgene bottle, and put it in your sleeping bag with you. That's just an old backpacking trick I learned a while back. Tip number five, if you're gonna have wet gear like a snowboard or snowboard gear, try to dry it off if you're gonna have it in the cab with you, or put it in the front where it's not gonna give that moisture and humidity and contribute to the condensation at night. Okay guys, those are just a few tips to help you stay warm this winter. I know that once I start editing this video, I'm gonna think of a few more tips. I'll go ahead and put those in the video description. If you have any of your own, please leave them in the comments. I hope to engage with you there. If you found this video helpful, please like and subscribe. I'll see you on the next one. And just a little side note, look at the height of the Rivian on the highest setting. Just to follow up here, I did sleep in the Rivian outside of work last night. I have work this morning, and just to follow up on energy use, because I did run at first just the fan because it wasn't very cold, and over the course of 4 hours, just running the fan, it only used about 3 miles of range. And then from there, it did get a little cold, so I added the heat. Now, it's not as cold as it was in Mammoth, so it's not going to use as much energy to keep up with the temperatures, but looks like I used about 17 miles of range in that last about 3 to 4 hours. So running the heat obviously does use more power than just the fan alone, but it didn't use as much as I thought it would.